It's Monday. I'm here. A little late, but nevertheless, I'm here. Hello, hello. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Peggy. Hi, Rhonda. Thank you. I'm having a little coffee, which I've been nursing along for the last several hours. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. It has been an adventure of which I shall recap. Anyway, how are you guys? Hello, hello, hello. Mrs. Studley Duck, that's right. I am the new Mrs. Studley Duck. I know, I always love it when you write hi Jinx in the chat because it does seem appropriate. Yes, so Chance will probably show up momentarily, but he's upstairs stretched out on the guest bed because apparently that's his new favorite place to lay down. I don't know what we're going to be doing tonight, if anything. I may just be talking and I don't know what I'm going to do, you guys. I don't know. Thank you, Tori. Thank you. As a newlywed. Hi, Connie. I know. It's a newlywed thing. Hello, Starla. I'm still getting rid of the very last of this respiratory thing that the Studley Duck kindly shared with me. It was so nice of him. He had it. He shared it. I thought I was going to escape it. I did not. Hello, Angela. Thank you. And Vale's here. Hi, Vale. Connie, I don't know if I said hello to you. Hello, Terry. Welcome. I'm not sure that T&L Creations. I'm not sure that I've seen your name in the chat before. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. My name is Barb, in case you don't know who I am. You just stumbled onto this craziness. Anyway, yeah, you guys, it's been a whirlwind. Actually, today, I've been up since my alarm went off at 3:30 this morning. Yeah, I finally managed to get my body out of bed a little before 4. I had to get myself together, which was not much. I didn't get any makeup on today until about 10 minutes ago. So then we had to do all the stuff to get the car back to the rental place, and thank goodness for maps. I just have to say, it is such a good thing that you can have a Maps app, whether it's an Apple thing or a Google thing or a whatever thing. It's so good you can do that because you can plug in there, go to such and such rental car return, and you just have to trust it's going to take you to the right spot. And most of the time it does. I suppose there are isolated times where it doesn't. But you got to do that, and then you got to shuttle to the airport, and we flew out of Denver this morning, and that is a big monster airport. Hoi, monster. Hello, Dana. Good to see you. It is a monster of an airport. It is. Anyway, so we got there. Oh, you're welcome, Connie. I'm hoping that everybody's got to them. I did get them mailed all. And I heard back from Judy Ogre that hers arrived with the envelope open, so I think she got everything that was in it. Hello, Gray. I am home safely, and I am so grateful. So everybody's bookmarks went out with a few little goodies, not a whole lot, but a little extra goodies, because you guys were so patient waiting for me. And so I'm glad that you got yours. Anyway, do I look different? I don't feel a lot different. A little bit, however. A little bit. Anyway, so I have been on the go, as it were, since 3:30 this morning. And so I'm a little bit. I think when I stop moving, I probably somebody it's gonna be like somebody pulled a plug and I'm just gonna power down. But that's the way that is. So Chance is upstairs, resting on the guest bed. He's decided that's his new favorite place. Wait till he blesses me with something on the quilt that's up there, and then he will be banned from that room. Anyway, so how are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. I am glad to be back. Before I continue on, because I'm going to tell you the story of how everything went, I should do something while I do this. I was going to work on an art journal page, and I just didn't get it together. Maybe we'll work on this book. I don't know. Let me look in here while I'm talking to you. You know how you're either feeling something or you're not? I'm not feeling this. What are we going to do? What are we going to do while I'm here talking? Let's see if I got anything in this journal. I have a million, not quite, but I have a lot of journals. So I'm just looking to see if I can find one that is not totally... Well, let's see if we can do something. I found a blank page in this journal. I'll show it to you first. I'll show you the journal first, and then I will see if we can do something. I don't know what, but we'll see if we can do something while I blather on and show pictures and so forth. I will tell you this story. I will. So this is what I just pulled out. This, I just reached on the shelf and pulled it out. This is a belly band that holds this journal together. This journal is, I'm going to take whatever my notes, oh, those are quotes. This was from a class that I did. So we're going to take, first thing, we're going to take the cover off, because it's just a paper cover. So I'm just going to take that off, and then we'll see if we can do something. I plan to do some art journaling about the events of this past week, but I just honestly did not get it together. I tried real hard, but I didn't get it together. So anyway, a lot of this is from some classes. This was just we could play with that, but maybe not. These are some of the mandalas that I've done. More mandalas. This is from a class, or this was just some neurographic art. This is blank, so we may play with that. These were done, I think this was done in a class. All of these, I think, a class that I took. Not a class that I taught, but one that I took. And so I'm just leafing through this. Oh, this would be good. We could play with this. Or that one. Oh, we've got some options. Okay, now that I've kind of decided what I'm going to do, let me grab some watercolors and some water. I know, unprepared, but I'm here. Okay, we sort of have a plan, but maybe not. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this coffee, and then I'm going to drink some water because I am so parched from not only from traveling, but from being in such dry climates. So dry, so very dry. Anyway, so what I have here is I have a couple of watercolor palettes. Some of these are the same, some of these are duplicate colors, so I'm just going to play with that. And we'll slap some watercolor down on this page, and then I don't know, we'll just see what happens, because literally I am just going to see what happens. Okay, does that sound okay to you guys? I hope it does. Let me get a brush here so that we've got, this is one of my better brushes, so that'll be okay, and some paper towels. My studio is once again a mess, but it's probably going to be that way for a while because of things moving along in my life. Okay, so we're just going to play, you guys. We're just going to play. And just, hello, Dot. I've been up, yeah, it truly is. I've been up a long time. I've been up a long time, and my brain is just a wee bit whacked. Okay, let's work with this color palette first, and then we might, so it's just this one, and it's various kinds of colors that I put together. Let's play with this one first. So what I'm going to do, just so you know, first of all, I'll just get out of the picture. I'm going to just put water down and let this sit for a minute. Even though you might be able to see, you might not. There is a mandala transferred on here very, very lightly. And it's just going to get lost in the background. So I'm just putting water on here. And literally, this is going to be, we're just going to play. And if some of this watercolor spills onto the other pages, it just does, and I'm not going to sweat it. I got the good stuff out of these other pages on either side of this whenever I did them. And so if they don't do super well, or slops around, oops, oh well. And this is an accordion style journal. Okay, do you see that? It's just folded back and forth. Anyway, so let's talk. Let's talk about getting married at the ripe old age of 71 after having been widowed and dealing with the husband with dementia, etc. What is it like to get married at 71 and have another chance? I have to say it's pretty great. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, consider giving it a chance. All right. So you will notice periodically I will be taking a little break and getting a drink because we got married in Las Vegas. Yes, we did. Okay. So this is wet. The page is wet. And so I am just going to, I should have probably wet my watercolors. And you know what? I don't really care. I'm just going to mess around with whatever there is here. And pick up whatever else is on the palette. So let's see what happened. Well, first of all, I got back today and couldn't remember where my car was. Does that tell you anything? I had no idea where my car was. I was at Elton's house because we flew into St. Louis, and I thought, well, where are my keys? And I am looking and looking and looking at his house for the keys to my car, not realizing that my car wasn't even there. Does that tell you anything? I had no idea. It's one of those days where you go, who's on first? So it's been a kind of a crazy one. Anyway, so we left. I'd forgotten that Elton came to pick me up before we left. And let's see, what color do I want? Let's scooch this over so you can see a little bit better. How about that, Barb? Let's take this color. I don't know. I have the color key for these. This is Grumbacher THIO. I'm not familiar with color names with watercolor, so I don't even know how you pronounce it. THIO Violet. Thio? Anyway, we're just gonna put this down. So anyway, Elton came and picked me up on I don't know when we left. I think we left Friday, the 11th, because we were flying out very early on Saturday. And so he came and picked me up on Friday. We went to a hotel where we could leave the car, and because we were flying out at the crack of dark 30 the next morning, because I don't remember why. I really don't, but there was a reason. Anyway, we flew out early on Saturday morning, and we flew to Las Vegas, and because that is where Elton's son and daughter-in-law live. And many of you know, and I'm just rattling on as I kind of play around with this. Many of you know that he is going through cancer treatment right now, and that is why we went to him. We went to him because we were going there anyway. We're going to visit him. He's doing quite well, by the way, at this point, and I trust that he's going to continue to do well. And so he's going through infusion chemo, and so we were going to go out there and visit him and his wife. And Studley Duck decided that, oh, well, why don't we just get married while we're out there? And this was 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks before it actually happened. And I'm like, I was just stunned. I have to tell you, I was really quite shocked. I was not prepared for that. Hi, Becky. Hi, Renee, and anybody else I missed. Hello. So anyway, that's how it came to be, that it seemed like a big rush, because it kind of was. We were already planning to go out there, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Studley, aka Elton, decided that maybe it would be a good idea for us to just get married while we're there, because his son, who is going through cancer treatment, happens to be a pastor. And so he could just perform the ceremony. And so everything went into warp speed then to kind of get this figured out. And we did. And we left on that Saturday, the 12th, at super early in the morning. Super early in the morning. And flew out. And Las Vegas is 2 hours behind us. So that throws me for a loop right there, because I really don't. I mean, I have a hard time keeping up with, when I stream, what time it is around the world. But when you're changing time zones on me and we're going to Las Vegas or LA, I mean, I have trouble keeping up with, is Las Vegas the same time zone as LA? Or, yeah, it is. But anyway, so we got out there, and Elton's son came to pick us up, and then we had to go get a marriage license. Yes, and because it's Las Vegas, the town that never sleeps, we went downtown, and what is funny, well, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Anyway, we went in and got the marriage license, and you get to pick out the marriage license that is the decorative one, and then you get the official one after it's recorded. Okay? All right. Now, apparently you used to be able to have a choice of one that was kittens, that was real cute and sweet, and and then there's the kind of boring plain ones and all of that. But I'm sure it will be, well, you guys don't know the Studley Duck real super well yet, but you're going to. I don't think he's here. He's probably listening. And so I gave him the option of picking out which of the decorative ones he wanted. The kitten one, sadly, was no longer available. However, this one was. Okay? This one was available. That's a marriage license, okay? And so, hi, Terry. And so, because this is the Studley Duck, okay? And I said, I don't care. Hi, Judy. I said, because he's trying to be nice to me. Hi, Becky. He's trying to be nice to me, and he says, well, which one do you want? And I thought, I really don't care. I know a lot of people misinterpreted my enthusiasm or lack thereof, verbal enthusiasm for, like, I didn't care about what was going on, and that's not entirely true at all. It wasn't true. It was just, it's like, I'm not going to get wound up about the details of how this comes together. I'm just not. I'm going to just enjoy it, because there will be things that will go wrong. They go wrong with every wedding ceremony. Things go wrong with the best laid plans, right? And things are unpredictable. And so I'm just going to go with the flow. Hey, Jamie. Hi, Denise. I know. So I said to him, I don't care. You pick it out. And so he did. He picked out the showgirls. He picked out the showgirls. Of course he did. I thought it was funny. I think there will be some people at church that won't find it amusing, but we probably just won't show it to those people. Right? So that is the frameable marriage license. Yes, I thought you guys would get a charge out of that. But that's not the funniest part of the whole thing. So my son and his wife had driven from LA. They got there the night before, Friday night. And so they were there. And then we got there early Saturday, went with my new son, my new inherited son, my new bonus son, to get the marriage license. And then we went back to, and the people, the lady at the marriage license office is like, when we said that we were the ones getting married, she's like, really? Yeah, really? I'm like, yeah, it's us. And then she thought it was fun. So she got into it. She was having a good time with us. So then we went back. I guess we went to my new bonus son's house. I guess that's what we did. I've kind of forgotten. I've slept a lot since then. I think that's where we went, and we, just enjoyed being there and stuff. And then my who came after that? My new bonus daughter and my new sister-in-law both arrived at the airport not too long after we did. And so we all, there's a group of us now congregated. Not all of us yet. There were still 3 more people that had to come, but there was a group of us. And so we went out for lunch to a Greek restaurant. Greek? Yeah, it was Greek. I'm telling you guys, it's like, whew, what is that what it was we did? It was. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do right now on this journal page, which is about dry, I mean, it's dry enough, it may not work. So don't get too excited if this doesn't work, okay? Just don't get too excited. So I'm going to keep talking while I'm just going to keep talking while I do this, because I'm just going to do it. And I'm using what's on my desk. This is a stamp made of fun foam. This was directly from a stencil, a Joggles stencil, actually. So while I'm doing this, I'm just going to get some watercolor, some really soupy, this green watercolor, okay? I'm just going to make a big soupy mess of it here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It doesn't make any difference to me whether it does. Anyway, so we go to this restaurant, okay? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this sponge and I'm going to pick this up. And I'm going to attempt to stamp with watercolor, which may or may not work. And if it doesn't, we'll always wish it did. Huh? Yeah, so let's just, I don't care what happens here. Let's just see if we can just get some of this. All right, let's see if this will work. I don't know if it will. And as I said, it just doesn't matter. Yeah, it didn't. Okay, so in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to switch from watercolor, which I didn't know if it would work. Kind of thought, yeah, probably not. I'm going to switch and we're going to use some acrylic paint. And we'll do that instead. So let me get rid of the watercolor palette. And let's get some acrylic paint, a little piece of palette paper, and we'll put out a couple of colors of acrylic paint. Let's do that, because that should work. Anyway, so we go to this Greek restaurant, okay? And as we walk in, it was very nice, by the way. As we walk in, and we're seated in a nice, nice area, the waiter guy comes back where we are, and I mean, very, very nice guy. And he says, "Oh, are we celebrating anything special?" To which a couple of the kids in the party said, "Yes, we're celebrating a wedding." All right. And, all right, let's put this on here. And we're just going to do a little stamping. Actually, I like that quite a bit. I like that. And so the waiter is looking all around the room at all the options of who could be getting married. But he never looked at us. Never did. I mean, it was hysterical. And finally he said, well, something about, well, who's getting married? And some of the people there pointed at us and said, they are. And he goes, I mean, he about choked on himself, and he said, well, congratulations. He said, I didn't see that coming. Like, I bet you didn't. Yeah, he surely did not. It was a riot. Yeah. And and I mean, he could not have been nicer throughout the whole thing. Oh, that was a little dark. Well, that's all right. It'll probably be a little bit lighter here. Um, it was funny though. He just, he just about choked because he did not see us being the likely candidates for being the wedding couple. Anyway, that was not the only time that happened either in this during this episode. And all this time too, I am still dealing with this respiratory gunk. So I really couldn't taste the food very well, and I'm finally just about over it. But anyway, so we had a really nice lunch, and we were, after the lunch was over with, then I took advantage of the time and went to spend some time with Race and his wife, Izzy. And we went and had coffee together, and then we went to shop a little bit at TJ Maxx. I don't remember exactly why we went there. Oh, I do too. We had decided that we were going to look for a garter because I didn't have one. And so we were going to look for a garter because Elton's daughter, one of his daughters, he has two daughters. Actually, I like that. This is coming together okay. Maybe this is going to be an okay thing here. One of his daughters is probably going to get married at some point before too long. I don't know that for certain. But her soon-to-be fiance, or whatever. I don't quite know how to refer to anybody at this point. But anyway, he was standing up with Elton. Okay? And so we decided that wouldn't it be fun if we had a garter to toss at him because he's a pretty good sport. And so we thought maybe that would be a really fun thing to do. Except we couldn't find, Las Vegas, we couldn't find a place that had garters. And so, not to be outdone, at TJ Maxx, we found a wide pink headband that had a big bow, and it was elastic. And so Race and his wife Izzy and I all decided that indeed that would fit over my leg, and so we could make that be a fun thing. Hello, Linda. I know, right, Denise? I just saw what she said. So we got that as the garter, and I don't know. Race and Izzy were sweet and bought me a couple of things, and I don't remember what else we bought there, to tell you the truth. I'm serious when I say I have slept since then. I really don't know what all we did that we bought. And then it was either before or after that is when we went to Starbucks and we had coffee together and just talked, and it was just a really sweet moment. And well, that didn't work so well, did it? Okay, let's see if we can try this again. If it doesn't work the first time, try again. Well, that's better. Okay. So all I'm doing here is just sponging acrylic paint on this very, very loosey-goosey fun foam stamp that I've created. And so that's what I'm doing, and then I'm stamping with it just to kind of put something in the background here. And it's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm not going to worry too much about it. So anyway, that was Saturday afternoon, and then a bunch of the male versions. It's Saturday, and what do you do on Saturday but you watch football? So they're all watching football games, which was fine. And I've actually become kind of a football fan since I've been hanging out with the Studley Duck, because that is a major part of his world. And when I first went to the first football game with him, yes, YouTube was my friend to explain to me how football worked. Yes, it was. Hey, Linda. Thank you. Thank you. So I got back. We got back to the house, and so we watched football, and then later I had to get dressed, to go for we were going to have dinner someplace, and so I decided I better, since I was the bride, I should, dress up a little bit. So I did. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then we went over to the place where the wedding ceremony was going to be held, which was in the backyard, a beautiful backyard of the friends of my new bonus son and his wife. And so we went to see where this was going to be, and it was stunning. It was stunning backyard. It's beautiful. They have a pool, and they have landscaping, and they have decks and different levels and stuff. And it's all stuff that they've done. They've done it themselves, and it was just stunning. And so we were going to go do that. And there was something else I was going to tell you. Let me think. It'll come back to me, right? Hi, Mary. Oh, thank you. Boy, what else was I going to... There was something really important I was going to tell you. Oh, well. If it flies back into my head, we'll revisit the thought. We'll find the train again. I lost the plot. All right. So I'm looking at what I have going on here on this page, and it's not bad. It's not bad. But if you will humor me a moment, I'm going to go get some translucent deli wrap type stuff and add to this, because I think that's what I want to do. So give me just a moment. Hold that thought. Okay, I just grabbed a wad of paper, translucent, like junky papers, and so we're going to use those and just do some, we're going to do some collage, okay? So this is what I have. I just grabbed it out of the first things that I came to. So we're just going to slap some of these down. I have no pre-done anything. Looks like a fish should be on there, don't you think? Okay, so it's time for us to go, check out the venue. It's the backyard. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Okay, this is too good not to tell you face to face. Remember I said that they were watching football? Okay. The bonus son who is going to perform the ceremony says he knew that we wanted to do our own vows. Wanted to write our own vows. And he mentions that afternoon as the football is going on, he says something about, so you all have your vows done? Yeah, got our vows done. Elton says he's got his done. And he said, well, something about, he didn't come right out and say it, but he kind of alluded to the fact that he was a little worried about how the vows were going to be, because he knows that the two of us tend to be a little bit on the loose cannon side of things. Okay? All right. And so I thought, just to put his mind at ease, maybe I should share my vows with my bonus son. Okay. So I went and got them. And I showed them to him. And because I said, he said, how long are the vows? And I said, well, mine are only 5 pages long. And right about then, his eyes kind of glazed over and he got kind of this horrified look on his face. 5 pages. All right. What I didn't tell him was that there were 5 pages, where the margins were way in and very big print. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay. So let's go back to this. And I'm just going to be doing stuff while I'm yammering on. So anyway, that he wasn't actually as worried about mine, as it turns out, as he was about his dad. He, because his dad does have ADHD, and he does tend to sidetrack himself now and then, pretty substantially. And I'm just putting matte medium on here, by the way. I'm just dumping it on, which I don't recommend that you do. Let's straddle the page on this one. So it turns out that he was mortified that, that there were 5 pages, and he was very relieved when it was 5 pages that had had big margins, so it was narrow. The columns were only about this wide, and it was like size 18 type and that kind of stuff, and he was quite relieved about that. But he was more worried about his dad. And so later I said to him, I said, well, did you get to see your dad's vows? And he goes, yeah, I did. And I said, so is everything okay? And he said, yeah. I mean, you could just see the relief just washed over him that his dad's vows were. He said, I kind of had to rein him in a little bit. Look at this poor fish, lost his nose. Isn't that funny? I don't think he had the rest of his nose. That's okay. We'll give him a reason to have a short nose. Anyway, so our vows got approved. I just had to laugh. I thought it was really funny that he was worried. He was worried that his dad might be inappropriate. And if any of you have ever seen the Studley Duck in the chat. You never know what's going to roll out of his mouth or his fingers. Yeah, never know. So it was pretty funny. Anyway, okay. So meanwhile, back at the art journal page, we're gonna give this fish a big bulbous nose. I don't know why, just because we can. So anyway, all was approved, and that night we all went to another place to eat, and this one was a Mexican place. By this point in time, we'll put a couple more bubbles on here, so they're going to be like air bubbles, like oxygen bubbles. By this point, the rest of the family has arrived, which is another bonus daughter, granddaughter, and the unlucky soul that's going to have to be humiliated with the pink garter. But, you know, if you can't have some fun at a wedding, where can you have fun, you know? So of course, no one knows that there's going to be any such nonsense going on, but those of us that have purchased said garter and so forth. So they have arrived, and they flew in from St. Louis. They flew in that day after the granddaughter had played in a volleyball tournament. That's why the ceremony was on Sunday, because we were waiting for the granddaughter to get done with the volleyball tournament. She's quite the volleyball player. She's quite an athlete, as was her mother and several others in the family. So anyway, we have dinner. It was lovely. It was really, really nice, and the food was excellent. A little pricey, but it was excellent. So this was, in effect, the rehearsal dinner. So except it wasn't. And we're sitting in this long, it was a long rectangular table. There were, I don't know, 15 of us or something. I don't remember exactly. And so we're all sitting in the middle of the table. We're sitting in the middle of the table, so that we're kind of the center, and then we're spread out with everybody else. Oh, and prior to this, the other thing I forgot about this day is that Elton's daughter sent me a text message while I was with my son and his wife, and said, "What are you wearing to the wedding?" And I'm like, because I haven't made a big deal out of any of, what I'm wearing or anything, And I said, well, as far as I know, that makes everybody a little nervous when you say things. Well, as far as I know, I said, I'm going to wear, center a picture. And I said, this is what I'm going to wear with black slacks and a black tank. And I said, but, I'm not super sure which thing I'm going to wear. And I said, because I'm like, I wonder why she wants to know that. Well, she responded and she said, we just need to make sure that Dad's going to be dressed appropriately. This is how much his children trust him. They want to make sure he's dressed appropriately. And sure enough, they did not approve what he had brought to wear. And I said, because they wanted him to look good with me. Yes. Hi, Joni. Thank you. Oh, you did? Oh, good. I'm glad you got it. Yeah, so they were not sure. And here is my ring. Now that it is put together, I don't know I guess you can see it. You've seen this part. This was the engagement ring part. And these are bands that they're narrow bands, and the whole thing is soldered together. So That's you can see, hopefully. So that's what my ring is. Anyway, okay, where am I? I'm trying to come up with some stuff here that might be interesting to put, papers that might be interesting to incorporate into this. All right, we'll just tear a section out, and we'll just keep slopping some stuff down. How about that? Sound okay? I think it's okay. Anyway, so yeah, they were worried, and they disapproved of his choice of color for the shirt that he was going to wear, and I have assured them that it's okay with me, and I've assured him that that I'm fine with whatever he's chosen, because it's funny when you say to people, I don't care, they misinterpret that sometimes. It wasn't a matter of I just didn't care. It was a matter of however it works out, it works out. However this comes together I am a firm believer in that how it comes together is exactly the way it was meant to happen. And so I'm not attached to the outcome. I hope that makes sense. Some of you here will know what I mean. I'm just not attached to the outcome of the thing, because the more attached you are to the outcome of something, the more you open yourself up to be disappointed if it doesn't work out the way that you have pictured in your head, right? And so I just decided that I kept saying, I don't care. However it comes out, it comes out. And people can tend to misunderstand that it means, I got a lecture from, I may have told you guys this, but I got a lecture from one of my very closest friends that a day or two before we left, that I needed to get I needed to care about this. I needed to care about how everything was going to happen. And I'm like, but I just can't do that. I just can't. I can't worry about it. I can't care about it. And it's not a matter of I don't care. It's just I am not going to miss the opportunity to just enjoy whatever is going to happen. Okay? Now, that also opens you up to the unexpected. It surely does. So anyway, okay, so Saturday night was great because that was the rehearsal dinner. It was very good. We had a great time. Everything went well. Went back to, of course, there was more football to watch. And the place where we were having the rehearsal dinner, there was football on, and I think that was the place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know. No, I don't think it was. Anyway, forget that. So anyway, everybody crashed, because most people were pretty tired, so crashed early. And then the next day we got up, and it was super just lovely. My new daughter-in-law did, she made a beautiful brunch, and everybody, some of them were staying at a hotel, and they came over, and the ones who were not at the hotel were staying with my bonus son and his wife, where we had the breakfast. And it was just, the food was delightful, and we just had such a good time. It was very relaxed. Everything was super relaxed, and it could not have been nicer, honestly. And then I left with Race and my daughter-in-law and went with them back to their hotel room. And it was my daughter-in-law's responsibility to dress me. Okay. Now, those of you that know my daughter-in-law, she's Filipino. and she is lovely and she is flamboyant. And I thought, this could be so interesting. And I said, I don't know how this is going to go, and so it's going to just be fun. That's all. It's just going to be fun. And so I have my clothes with me. I have not let Elton see what I'm going to wear, and I don't really know what his daughters and granddaughter have decided that he's going to wear, because they clearly had vetoed his selection of some things. And so, and as I'm with my daughter-in-law, I got most of my makeup done. My hair was pretty done. And she says, Mom, would you like a crown? I'm like, woo, a crown. I'm like, I said, like what? And so she pulls out a couple of there were more like headbands as opposed to crowns, like tiaras, It was pretty. And they did turn out to be pretty. But, there for a minute, I was a little like, whoo, a crown, because I have told her she can, free range, she can do anything with me she wants. It was high heaven bound. It was so funny. Okay, so picture this, and she has also brought jewelry. I didn't take any jewelry other than this pair of earrings, my standard silver hoops. She has brought jewelry for me to wear. She brought beautiful pearl jewelry for me to wear from the Philippines, and so I have worn that. So she's, I have nice earrings and the pearl, the thing up here, and the necklace, and the whole thing is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I'm like, whew, this is going to be an interesting event. Little did I know. So, now, the other thing I have to tell you about is when my stepdaughter, who is the mother of my grandchildren, when my stepdaughter was married, when she got married, one of the things that my husband, Clausman, did was he had an old shotgun, old family shotgun. And he had that shotgun, and he was going to literally walk down the aisle with it with his daughter, my stepdaughter. And because he thought it was funny, well, somebody back there in the back of the church, because it was a serious church wedding, took the gun away from him. Just probably a good idea, but sorry about the coughing. There's still a little of this yuck hanging around. Anyway, so you have to know that's kind of the backstory. And I really didn't, and Race was about 12 when that wedding happened. Okay. All right, fast forward, I am all dressed, and we are going to the wedding, and I'm afraid we're going to be late. We weren't, because it was very close to the hotel. I was surprised at how close it was. But anyway, we got there, and walked in, and Elton is there. He's kind of dozing in the chair watching more football or something. And we walk in, and we've already arranged all this, that Izzy, my daughter-in-law, is going to be my matron of honor, and future son-in-law we think is going to be a future son-in-law. I'm pretty sure, but anyway, he's going to stand up with Elton. And so everything's ready. But my son is going to give me away, because, long story, but my dad didn't give me away when I was married the first time. They didn't like Clausman very well. My mom and dad didn't like Clausman very well. But that's because he'd been married to my sister before me, who died in a car accident, and as a whole thing. You guys have most of you know the story. about all of that. Anyway, my parents, particularly my dad, did not want me to marry Claus Man, okay, at all. And so he also had said before that wedding, my dad had said to me that he would not give me away. So I got married at 19, and that left a wound inside of me for many, many, many years. And to this day, honestly, it can get triggered sometimes. And so the fact that nobody gave me away when I was 19, I'm like, by golly, somebody's going to give me away at 71. Somebody's going to give me away. And so I asked my son if he would do that. And he's like, well, sure. Okay. Which opened up a can of worms that I was not quite anticipating. Okay. So let me glue this one little more piece of paper down here. So let me glue this piece down here, overlapping the fish. I don't know why, but just because. Okay. So knowing, and Race knows the story. He knew that story from long, long ago. And he also knows that he's going to give me away, because I have asked him to do that. This is kind of going to be kind of funny. I like this fish thing here. I don't know why, but I just kind of do. I wish I had another one. I have the stamp, so I could probably stamp another one. Anyway, we'll deal with that another time. Okay, so you see what's going on here. All right, so you've got the picture. We're in this really lovely backyard. I'm dressed up, not super overdressed, but I'm dressed appropriately for a, casual wedding. Okay, and there's something going on between my son and his wife, and I'm not quite sure what it is. And we're walking in, and my bonus son says, okay, you do this and you do this, and everybody's on the same page. It's a very small group of people. They're all family except a couple of friends, and everything's there. Okay, and so as we step into we're ready to walk into the church, the backyard where the ceremony is, not a church. This is what my son does, okay? All right. This is what my son does. Do you see what he has? Okay, you guys see what he has? Yeah, okay, this is Race. He has in his hands a shotgun, except the shotgun is all made of wood. And he made this himself the night before he and Izzy drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. Okay? It comes apart, and eventually I will be able to show it to you. It had to be shipped separately because it wouldn't fit in our suitcases. This part, the handle part, I don't know guns, so I can't tell you what's what, but that part is one piece. The barrels, it's a double barrel shotgun. That's another piece. The entire thing is wood. Okay? It's all wood. It's held together by magnets, by really strong magnets. On the other end of the shotgun, which I will not be showing you in the future, but I'm going to describe it to you and let you use your imagination, because my son and Izzy are almost as twisted as Elton is. Not quite, but almost. But on the end of the shotgun up here, there are more magnets, and there are accessories that hold on to the end of the gun, and you could just sort of use your imagination, make up a little bit of twisty nastiness. I mean, I laughed so hard, but those were not present at the ceremony. That was an after thing. That was an aftermarket thing. Anyway, Izzy hands him the gun just as we take the step, and you can see me laughing here. because I'm trying not to fall as I'm walking, but I'm also absolutely so cracked up about the gun because I can't imagine where this has come from. I don't realize that he's made it at this point and so forth. Anyway, so here you can see my my tiara, my crown. If you look really carefully, you can see the pearl accessories that I was adorned with. Izzy was very tasteful in the way she dressed me. She did adjust my makeup a little bit, you know, and it turned out to be fine. Oh yes, absolutely heaven bound. Yes. So anyway, this is how we walked into, and you can see in the background, you can see the swimming pool back here. And all of this, the palm trees, all of this, you can kind of see is everything that this couple has put together, has built in their backyard. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, so that's what greeted me as we were going into the ceremony. I will have many other pictures to show you, but at this point in time, I only have a few because I have not downloaded any of them and so forth. So this is where the ceremony itself took place. So this is one level of the deck. These are like benches, seating areas around there. This is Elton, me. This is Izzy, my daughter-in-law, and my son. And it was interesting when my son gave me away, you know, when the bonus son says who gives this woman, he said that he did, they all did, and he had the shotgun because he wanted to make sure that Elton didn't back out. Yeah, there you go. So after the ceremony was over, I have other pictures, but I don't know where they are at this moment. And when the whole thing was over, everything was over, they did cupcakes and a champagne toast. And then we went to a pub. Okay, then we went to a pub. And so this is at McMullen's, which is the pub. And this young man back here is the one who provided the backyard where we got married. Anyway, so it's not the best picture in the whole world of me, but, you know, at least you kind of get the idea. The accessory, yeah. Put the accessories in a jar on the mantle. So I'll show you this. Let's see. No, I probably shouldn't show you that. I don't really have permission to show that. Okay, so I'll show you some more pictures later. But anyway, that's what I can show you at this point. So that was over. The ceremony could not have been nicer. I made it, the sap that I am, made it all the way through my vows. And so did Elton, made it through his vows. I was equally shocked that he got through his, and that I got through mine because I tend to be super emotional. I know you don't know that about me, but I do tend to be super emotional. And of course, I had, you know, these were heartfelt words. And so, yeah, it was one of the most meaningful ceremonies. I mean, I don't know how it can't be meaningful when you're the ages that we are and we've both had the experiences that we've had. You know, both of us have lost spouses. His wife died from cancer. Claw's man died from dementia or the complications of dementia, or however you die from dementia. I don't know how. I truly don't know how you die from dementia. The brain dies. For the first 6 months after he passed, I was trying to explain dementia to myself or try to find somebody that could explain dementia to me. Nobody ever could. And so you finally get to a point of you just have to accept it. It's kind of like cancer. Why does one person get cancer and another one doesn't? You kind of go, I don't know, And so and because we have known each other for so long, we've known each other for like 50 years in parallel lives. He had his family, I had my family. We knew each other, but we didn't know each other, which is a very good thing. And so for us to get through the vows was pretty remarkable. Anyway, so the ceremony was as perfect as it could have been. The temperature was great. Everybody taking pictures. There must have been 1 million phones there. Not 1 million, because there weren't that many people. But it was so funny that because we didn't have any anybody coming to do anything. Everybody did something. My new daughter-in-law made cupcakes that were delightful. And it was very casual. And that was what I kept saying. I want this to be casual and just pleasant. And it was. It could not have been any more perfect than it was. It couldn't have been. It was absolutely wonderful. It really was. To go from where I was almost 3 years ago to where I am today is pretty outstanding. Okay. So that was on Sunday. Race and Izzy drove back to LA on Monday. I don't remember what we did on Monday, quite frankly. It's in my journal. But we flew out on Tuesday. We left early Tuesday, and we went from Las Vegas. We were flying to Denver, Colorado, because we had two choices. We could either take a brief honeymoon somewhere, or we could just come back home and we could begin the process of trying to combine households. And, I just kind of pushed a little bit to doing some sort of honeymoon type thing. Smooth and brilliant, if I do say so myself. Studley Duck has a cabin up in the mountains that we've been to several times, and it is one of my favorite places on earth. And so we decided that we would fly into Denver, and he rented a car, and then we drove up into the mountains where the cabin is. Well, it's perfect. It is just like the most perfect thing you can imagine at all. And you guys need to hang on, because this next part of this story is crazy, okay? And I will try to shorten it up. So everybody stay tuned, because this is the craziness. And hello to anybody that I missed saying hello to, but I'm glad you're here. Okay. We each have this exact same suitcase, except they're two different colors. They're soft-sided suitcases that my granddaughter gave me mine. They gave me mine for Christmas last year because we were taking that cruise. Okay? And Elton liked it so much that he wanted one. Hey, CJ, thank you. And so he wanted one, and so we got one for him. His is a dark brown. Mine is more of a taupe color. It's a little bit lighter. Okay, the exact same suitcase. Checked them at the same time at the Denver airport. We were a little bit late getting out of my bonus son's house, and so he fortunately knew how to navigate around a car wreck and stuff, and we got there on time and everything's good, and we've checked the suitcase and we got both suitcases, and we get to the gate and everything's cool, and we get on board the plane that's going direct flight, okay, didn't change planes, direct flight from Las Vegas to Denver, okay? We get there, all we do is get off the plane, go to the bathroom, and get over to the baggage claim. And by the time we got over there, it's like the baggage claim is basically empty. And so we're like, we must be in the wrong place. And so we walk around to the different baggage claims. And, finally it flashed up on the screen as to which one, the first one that we went to, that's the correct baggage claim area. Okay? So we go over there. And I don't know where everybody else's bags went. I don't have a clue. But all of a sudden, here comes Elton's bag. It comes off. He picks it up. And so I'm like, well, mine will be right there too. And we waited. And we waited. And we waited a little bit longer. And I'm like, I wonder if, for some reason, if they've already grabbed my suitcase. Maybe it came off early. We literally didn't do anything but use the restroom and go to baggage claim. That's all we did. But we thought, well, maybe something had happened. So I go check with the lost and found luggage person that is right there by real close to the baggage claim. And I said, do you have any other bags that have come off the luggage bag claim area? And she said, no. She said, let me see your tag. And so I gave her the tag, and she looks it up, and she said, well, it's off the plane. Okay, well, that's good. So now understand that we have to go rent a car. And we have lunch plans with some friends of ours who live out there. And so we have to get to lunch with them. Okay? All right. You still with me? I hope you are. And so finally, the baggage claim person, who was very nice, walks with me around all the bag claim things, and we're looking at all the things. She said, now what kind of bag do you have? And so I've showed her Elton's bag. I said, it's exactly like this, just a lighter color. Okay, so we look and we look and we look. In the meantime, Elton is like twiddling his thumbs going, what is going on here? So finally she said, we need to fill out a report. And I'm like, this is not going to go well if they're going to fill out a report. Okay, now I have my backpack, which has all of my toiletry type stuff. So I have a toothbrush. I have, makeup. I have a brush. And that's pretty much the size of what I have. And I have my purse. Okay, that's pretty much the size of it. All right. So we fill out this report. I have the report. I have the luggage tag. But she says the suitcase is here. We just don't know where it is. It's off the plane, but we're just not sure where it is. Okay. So at this point, we say, she said, where can we bring it to you when we find it? And it's like, we're going up in the mountains. And she's like, that doesn't matter. We'll deliver it. I'm like, well, this is cool, right? This is good. This is a very good thing. They're going to deliver my suitcase because they got to find it. It's in the airport, but they're going to find it and then they're going to bring it to us. This is great. By this point, we're getting a little short on time. So we got to go catch the shuttle and we got to go get to the rental place for the car. So we do. We go over there. We go into the rental place, which was very nice. Everything was very nice. We go in. We get to the desk where, some young man's going to help us and get us the car. And the cost of the car was almost, wasn't double, but it was several $100s more than he expected, than he was told it was going to be. And you know why that was? Because they had anticipated and they had made the reservation for us to return the car, not in Denver, but in St. Louis. so, so now in any other scenario, you would be penalized if you were going to return the car if you're going to go one way with it. Okay? They're going to penalize the crap out of you. Nope. They're going to penalize us for taking the car back to the same place where we rented it. Did you hear me? They're going to penalize us financially for taking it back to the same place that we rented it because they're trying to deplete their fleet there. So for a brief moment, we considered driving from the cabin to St. Louis to turn in the car to save the money. I know, right? I know, crazy. Okay? Then we thought, cooler heads prevailed, and we decided, because they pulled up the reservation and they showed us the reservation clearly said that we were taking it back to St. Louis. I think somebody pulled a fast one on us, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what it said. So what are you going to do? Okay. So they say, I know, I'm not doing anything art-wise. I'm just yapping now at this point. Because, quite honestly, I don't know what else I want to do to this page. So I'm just gonna let it sit here and marinate a while. I may stamp some more of this fish stamp or something and add some more of that and then kind of go from there. I don't even know why the fish is on this page, but anyway, so this is just going to sit here and marinate. Also, while I have your rapt attention, I will not be here Friday, okay? I will be back a week from today. I think I told you I would be here Friday, but I didn't realize that we were going to be gone again. So I will not be here Friday. I will be here a week from tonight, okay? So everybody write that down so you know. Hello, Alicia. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so we finally decide, okay, we're just going to go get the car. They've told us what it is. And so it's a 4-wheel drive, and we're going to go get the car, and it's in space number 562. I will not forget that. Space number 562. So we walk out a little annoyed, but, it's like, okay, whatever. Let's just go get the car because we need to go meet our friends. We need to go have lunch. We're hungry. It's all, the whole thing. We've been up since the crack of whatever, and we're tired, and we just need to go get the car and go find the place and eat. So we go out. We're walking down the aisle. We finally see the 560s, 550s, 560s. But there is no 562. And so we know what the make and model of the car is, and there is one in this other slot. It was 559. We go, well, that must have been it. They must have just messed up and told us the wrong slot. So we get in. Of course, the keys are in it and everything. We get in. We get our heavy luggage into the back. We're all set to go. We buckle up, and we go to get out of there. We get up to the exit place, which took a minute to find. And the exit checker-outer says, he walks around, he goes, "You're not in the right car." And we're both like, but this is the blah, blah, blah car. And it was in the row they told us, but it was the only one that matched this description in that row. And he goes, well, you can't leave in this car. You've got to go back because this is not the right car. So we go back. It's parked, remember, at 559. And I'm looking at all the numbers because the numbers are up over the cars. I'm looking at all the numbers. There is no 562. But there is a 560 and there's a 564. But the one in between that was also the same brand or whatever car is in an unmarked space. And we go, okay, maybe that must be it. So we are going to go over and put our luggage in that car and see if that's the right car. Well, it's a 2-wheel drive and not 4-wheel drive as we had paid for and been promised. So back we go into the car rental place, and the guy in there goes, he's like mortified because we've already had sort of a, displeasure voiced about the whole thing. And we said, there isn't a 562 that's labeled out there. We found one that's between 560 and 564, so I guess that's it, but it's not the right make and model car. It's not it's two-wheel drive instead of four, and we're going up into the mountains at 10,000 feet. We need to have that. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And then he realizes that after all this conflap, he's like, he said, I will get you a car and I will bring it to you. Just bring your luggage out here. And I'm thinking, well, it'd be nice if I had luggage. I'd bring it out. And so, because I'm distracted by the fact that I don't have my suitcase, and I'm anticipating at any moment they're going to call from the airport and we're going to have to go back into that craziness at Denver airport to get my suitcase, right? Anyway, make a long story shorter, he brings the car to us. We get into it. It only has 150 miles on it. It's a brand new car. Happy. We drive out. We get the cars. Okay, but this is the third car we've tried to pick up out of this parking lot, so it's taken a little while. Anyway, we get in the car. We leave. And now we have to navigate where it is we're going to meet our friends. And I cannot get my phone to hook up to Apple CarPlay. We also can't get his, which is an Android. Nothing will hook up. And so I'm just going to have to navigate us. Okay, people, not a good idea, but I'm going to have to navigate us to get to the restaurant. I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea. And blind faith with the Maps app is not my idea of fun. It's just not. And my suitcase, thing is a little crazy, and, and this is supposed to be our honeymoon, okay? And I'm thinking, well, at least the ceremony went really well. So I really don't have any clothes with me. There is a lesson in this, which is don't ever pack all your clothes in one suitcase or the other. You need to split them up. And my son had told me to do that, and I did not do it. So that you do have some clothes, but I didn't do that. So I don't have clothes. Anyway, so we navigate our way to our friends, which are now over an hour late, but we got there. Thank you, Maps app. You got us there. And we had a great lunch with them. It was really fun. Everything was great. And then it was time for all of us to leave. And now we have heard nothing from the airport, nothing from my bag that was supposedly in the airport trying to find me. And I said, okay, maybe we should go to a store, and just on the outside chance that I don't get any clothes, maybe we should get me a change of clothes, just so I have something. And if you know me, you know that I do not like to go shopping, so this is my worst case scenario, to have to go shopping when I have a suitcase of clothes wandering somewhere, and I hope it finds me. But worse than that, it has some of my embroidery in it. It has my hair dryer. It has all the things that I need that are in the suitcase that you can't check. I mean, you can't carry on with you. All that's in the suitcase. Okay, so we go to Target. And we wander in Target. And I bought myself a new flannel shirt. Thank you very much. I did. I bought a new flannel shirt. This one has pockets on the sides. I'd never seen one like that before. It's pretty cool. So I got a new flannel shirt. I got a pair of sweatpants. I got a bag of underwear, 2 pairs of socks, and called it good. I'm like, I am over this. That was $100 worth of stuff at Target. Anyway, so we checked out. I'm frustrated that I'm having to buy crap that I don't want to buy. There's a Starbucks in Target, and I think I'm going to go get, I have my Starbucks card. I'm going to go get us each a Starbucks because we're both frustrated about this. We'll just calm down. right? So he checks out the clothes. I go get the coffee. We get out of there. We get in the car. And now we have to drive up into the mountains, and it's dark, or getting dark. Did it get dark? I think it did. I don't remember. Anyway, we get to the cabin, and that is the one place on this earth that when I drive in that driveway, I am like, it is the most beautiful place on earth. Okay? All right. So we get there and we go in, and we'd gone to the grocery store and bought some groceries and stuff, and get in there and just get all settled in. It didn't take me long to settle in at all because I didn't have anything to unpack. It took Studley Duck a little bit longer to unpack his suitcase. I didn't have anything to unpack. So this pair of sweatpants I had elastic at the bottom of the legs, which I hate. And so I'm there with the dullest scissors in the entire world in that cabin, and I cut the elastic off the bottom, so it's just a ragged but open leg bottom, and and it's like, okay, I can handle this, and I'm gonna wash all this stuff. There's a washer and dryer there. I'm gonna wash all this stuff because I don't want the clothes, the store cooties, I want to get all those off. Well, guess what? The flannel shirt, the brand new flannel shirt that I think I'm gonna love it. They didn't take the flippin' security tag off of it. And it didn't alarm when we left the store. Okay? Do you understand what I mean? And I, for a moment, decided that it's not this shirt, it's a different one. It was, it was on the sleeve, and I thought, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to cut it off. Because you can't get it off. I think I'm just going to cut it off. Except they had pulled it up through the doubled over cuff and grabbed part of the shirt, so it's like this much of it had been gathered up in the security tag. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So I am now texting with my son, who knows all things techie, and I said, do you have any idea how I can get this stupid security tag off? It was a $25 shirt. It wasn't even that expensive, but for whatever reason they thought it was really a very fine shirt because they had a red Target security tag on it. And so Race responds to me and he says, if you have a strong magnet. Okay, let's go back to the shotgun. The barrels are held on to the I don't know parts of shotguns. The barrels are held on to the gun with strong magnets, but they wouldn't fit in the suitcases. And so the gun is being shipped back from Las Vegas. It's being mailed back. So if I had strong magnets, I could probably get it off, except they're in Las Vegas and we're not. You guys, this is just insane. Okay, so we ate dinner and we're just laughing about the whole thing, and talking about the ceremony and the craziness of the suitcase. And at this point, I have tried to call the suitcase baggage claim and can't get a hold of them. Leave a message, we'll call you back, so I do. And do you know what? At 11 o'clock, they did call me back. At 11 p.m., they call me back from the Denver airport, and they say, we've found your bag. I've also gotten a text message that said the same thing. Hi, Catherine. Okay. I hope not. All right. So they say to me, we have your suitcase. The text message said the same thing. We have your suitcase, and we're going to deliver it to you. And we're like, you realize we're in the mountains. We're a mile higher than you are in Denver. It's going to take you a while to get here, but the Maps app will direct you in here because it did us. We did that to make sure. Yes, and we will have it there within 4 hours. I think this is terrific. Well, we waited up till 2 a.m. 4 hours was 3 a.m. We waited up till 2 a.m. and both of us are whipped, and so we just finally gave it up, went to bed. knowing full well that the next morning when we woke up, which would be Wednesday, that it was going to be on the front porch. Wednesday morning, no suitcase. Okay. So thankfully I have a change of clothes. So I'm washing what I have on, and then I have my change of clothes. So, I'm just, you got the drill. All day Wednesday, I'm trying to find a suitcase because they told me it's in Denver. I'm just trying to figure out, do we have to go back to go get it or what? This is all day. Try in the morning, try in the afternoon. Finally got a hold of a person in the afternoon in Denver, and she was very nice, and she found the record, the receipt, and she says, "Oh, I see that." She said, "Well, your suitcase is in Baltimore." Baltimore, you guys. Baltimore, Maryland. I'm in Colorado. I took a nonstop flight from Las Vegas to Denver. It wasn't even like we transferred planes. But my suitcase transferred planes somehow, and it's gone to flippin' Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore. To make it even better, they said, we're going to transfer. I think they gave me a number. They did. They gave me a number for Baltimore. I call Baltimore. Can't get a hold of anybody. And about this time, I get another text message from their system, from the Southwest system, that says, "We're really sorry that we made this error, and we told you that your suitcase was here, but it's not. We're very sorry. We're working to find it." Like, well, good on you. Okay? So at that point, I've left a message at the Baltimore airport, and the Baltimore person calls me back. And she is very nice. Everybody was very nice, and they were all very sorry that this had happened. Not as sorry as I was, but they were very sorry. And then the Baltimore agent even said to me, I said, we just got married. This is my honeymoon, and I don't have any clothes. And she said, well, it's a good thing that it's your honeymoon because you really won't need them. And I'm like, not the point. Not the point. I said, obviously you don't know how old I am. But anyway, so she says, the Denver agent says, we have your bag, and I'm looking at it. It is right here. She said, I have it in front of me. She said, are you going to come and pick it up? Hi, Mary. And I said, no, I wasn't planning to pick it up in Baltimore. I'm in Denver. I am north, up in the mountains from Denver, Colorado. No, I'm not coming to Baltimore to get it. She said, well, how would you like us to get the suitcase to you? And I said, well, they told me last night it was going to be here by 3 o'clock this morning from Denver. And she said, well, you mean someone called you and told you that? And I said, yes, the agent in Denver. And she says, well, it's very odd that anyone would call you that late at night. And I said, well, I thought so too. But she assured me that they were sending someone right then to bring the suitcase to me. She said, well, that's very odd. I know, Catherine. She said, well, we can send it to you FedEx, and it'll be there Friday. To which I said to Elton, does FedEx deliver up here in the mountains? And he goes, no. I said, well, this is a bad idea. This is not a good plan. And so I got back on the phone and I said, that doesn't work here. FedEx doesn't deliver up here in the mountains. She said, okay, well, what should we do? And I'm like, I don't know, but if you have the suitcase, I would really like to have it. And so finally she said, it looks on the map like you are between Colorado Springs and Denver. And I said, that is correct. We are halfway between. And she said, well, would you rather us send it back to Denver or to Colorado Springs? And I said, if I have a choice, I'd rather have Colorado Springs because it's a smaller airport. And she said, well, we'll do that then. I'm like, okay. She said, I'm tagging it right now. It will be at the airport in Colorado Springs at 10:10 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, cool. I said, so it's a direct flight from Baltimore to Colorado Springs? She says, oh, no, it has to go through Denver. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, let me make this abundantly clear. My suitcase has now traveled many more miles than I have. Okay? Together, we've gone to Australia and New Zealand. But we can't manage to stay together in the United States of America. So they were sending it from Baltimore to Denver and Denver to Colorado Springs. And they would let me know as soon as it got there, but it was to arrive at 10:10 in the morning. I'm like, okay, fine. So that's going to be Thursday. So we have some other friends that live in Woodland Park. And so we think, well, on the way to Colorado Springs, we'll go to Woodland Park and we'll have breakfast with these friends. Okay? So that's going to be perfect. And we all agreed, we knew where to go, grandmother's kitchen. So we're all going to meet and have breakfast. That'll be great. We'll get to see them. And then we're going to get called by Colorado Springs Airport. And we're going to go get my suitcase. And everyone's going to live happily ever after. So we got up early Thursday morning. And we are driving to Woodland Park, down from the mountains into Woodland Park. About halfway there, we get a call from our friends. And he has COVID. So they're not going to meet us because he's sick. Like, well, now we have plenty of time, to figure out what to do. We went ahead and went to grandmother's kitchen and we had breakfast. And it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And then real close by is a furniture store. So when you have time to kill, what are you going to do but going to go look around somewhere? So we go in this furniture store. It was all aspen cabin style, beautifully made, handmade furniture. And so we ended up buying a coffee table to take back to the cabin. It fit in our third car that we ended up with. It ended up to be big enough, small enough, whatever, that it would fit in the car. So that was great. And it looks perfect in the cabin. And we wandered around there and looked at all the furniture because we had plenty of time and we picked out some things that we thought might be nice to, have. We didn't make decisions, but we just, looked around, talked to the people there, and it was great and everything's fine. Still haven't heard anything from Denver or Colorado Springs, nothing. And so I said, after we've eaten up an hour and a half in the furniture store, I said, I'm going to call Denver and I'm going to see, can they find the suitcase? Did it come from Baltimore? Did it get on the plane? Where? It's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Barb's suitcase? And so I call them. And I get Denver, I get a person, I explain the situation. She looks it up in the computer and she said, I see that it has gotten on the plane to Colorado Springs and it should be there. She said, but I'm going to give you their direct number and you can call them. I said, that'd be great. So I get the direct number. I call the direct number and I get a hold of a person in Colorado Springs and she says, music to my ears. She said, I have your suitcase. And I said, are you sure? And she said, I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, has my name on it? Yes, ma'am. We have it right here. She said, what would you like us to do with it? And I said, don't let it out of your sight. We're on our way. And so we drove the next little bit into Colorado Springs to the airport, walked in. The lady said, "Are you Barb Owen?" And I said, "I am." And she said, "We have your suitcase." And I'm like, "Thank you very much." And then they gave me a voucher, not nearly for enough, but a voucher, good for, a future flight. And it was my suitcase, and I've never been so happy to have a suitcase in my entire life, and it was in good shape. Nothing had happened to it. It just had been on a journey around the world. And I have the tags, okay? I have the tags to prove it, right? Guess where those little puppies are going to land? You betcha they're going to go right in the journal. Right next to the one that says Elton, where his went, just fine. They were checked at the same time. I know, reunification happened. I know, right, Rhonda? Anyway, got my suitcase, got back to the cabin. I unpacked. I hung up all my clothes. I was just loving my clothes all over again. And I'm not a clothes horse, as you can clearly tell. But I enjoyed hanging up all of my clothes and putting my stuff away. And I just enjoyed that immensely. I've never had such intense appreciation for a suitcase or for clothes. Okay. And in the meantime, I have written the entire story of all of this because I have taken very good notes. Okay. I called this number at this time on this day and was told this and was told that and told this. So I have the whole thing written out. So as perfectly as the ceremony went, as perfectly as all of that happened, it was, from there on, it was a bit of a fiasco for a while. But you know what I am so wrapped up in gratitude about? That none of this happened on the front end of our trip. It happened on the back end of the trip. Because it could have been very bad if I had not had the clothes that I intended to get married in. That would have been ever so much worse. Oh, it was crazy, you guys. It was absolutely crazy. Anyway, so that is the saga of that. And then as of today, last night actually, we got the cabin cleaned up because the cabin is used for other purposes too. So, whoever is there always leaves it clean for the next situation. So we got everything done. We watched the Chiefs game. We left. We drove down and drove into Denver, and we spent the night at a hotel really close to the airport, which is taking me back to where I started all of this, which is I have been up. I woke up at 3:30 this morning when the alarm sounded. So that's why I'm a little droopy and why you didn't get to see a whole lot done tonight other than a fish on a page of whatever happens here. I don't know what will happen to this, but who knows? Because I'm a little droopy. And then we got back to his house, which is where I'm going to be eventually living. But right now, I don't really know where I'm living because I'm between places. And so we had to come, my dog and cat are at my house. And so we had to come back over here and we had to do, it's a Jenga puzzle right now. Or not a Jenga puzzle. It's one of those puzzles, those little square puzzles with the little letters and stuff that you have to move this one to move that one and move this one. That's kind of how things are at the moment. We had to make space in one location so that we have some place to move some furniture of his out so we can move some furniture of mine in. We did that. Came to my house to drop me off so that I could take care of the dog and cat and stream for you guys tonight. And we decide in our infinite wisdom we will just move my chest of drawers tonight so I have someplace to put my clothes. And so we did that, except my chest of drawers, little did we realize it's an old oak chest of drawers, and one of the drawers just sort of all fell apart as we picked it up. Like, perfect. I have every kind of glue that you need to have, and so we can glue that thing back together. And the funny thing was, Elton said, I was just getting ready to say, it's so well made. So anyway, but I think 4 of the 5 drawers are okay, so I do have a place to put my clothes. Anyway, craziness. It did all work out, but life is crazy sometimes. And you just, if it wasn't a little wacky, it wouldn't make for a good memory. Anyway, so funny. All right. It is almost 8 o'clock here. I know that Dorothy has got to be dragging because she's in the UK. Dorothy, I don't know how you managed to hang in there this long, but anyway, thank you guys for being here. I will not be here Friday. I will be here a week from tonight. Okay, at this time that you tuned in, that's when I'll be back. I'm going to get to see my granddaughter this week. I'm very excited about that, and get to see that sweet little baby that I helped bring into this world. I get to go hold him and love him and see my 3-year-old great-granddaughter also. So I will be back a week from tonight if everything goes well. Keep your fingers crossed. And I think I'll be right here in this location. That's the plan. Anyway, until then, thank you for being here. I am so happy to be with you guys. Thank you for celebrating with me. And I will see you all a week from tonight. And as always, remember to get creative today. I will, Linda. I will check and see what's up there. It's going to be tomorrow, though. Quite frankly, I'll make myself a note and I'll check it tomorrow. So I will see you guys when I see you. Remember to get creative today because it's easy. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.